What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about two different coins in the crypto gaming space, and I'm going to be explaining exactly why I like both of these and the risks that are involved as well. I'm going to try and make this super quick, super actionable, but obviously when I say actionable, it's not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion and what I am intending to do. So do with that what you will, but just make sure that you go and do your own due diligence and don't listen to me. I'm just a idiot, potato, moron, stupid idiot on the internet. So please just ignore me. Anyway, without further ado. So the first one is Atari token. Second one is chain games. So Atari token, in my opinion, is more risky. They are both risky in the grand scheme of things because they both have very limited / no application or real world use at the moment, such as Atari token. What I mean by that is there is nothing tangible. They've only released the token. It's still a very, very early stage. And when it's an early stage like this, as I've mentioned several times on several videos, it is the prices that you see in front of you are going to be very much fueled by speculation, which is what makes it risky. Very sensitive to news announcements, very sensitive to what the company or someone posts about the company on Twitter or something like this. And that makes everything a lot more volatile and less predictable, which is why when something is more risky, I don't just put loads of money in that thing. I take 10, 20 of those very, very high risk things, and I spread my money between them, because even if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the case of crypto take off, they should make up for the losses tenfold and they should still cause some profit. But anyway, I will talk about that more in another video if you'd like to see that. So let's first of all start with some very, very basic technicals, just looking at the chart right here. I wouldn't even call it technicals, just looking at the price chart. So we can see when the coin was released, we had a bit of a dump, came down, we eventually pump up, and then we came back down. Now, this will happen very, very often with coins. I'm sure you've seen this multiple times before. And a lot of the times it's because when the coin or the token is first released, what that means is often the project hasn't actually launched and there isn't really much of a user base. There may be a community, but there isn't much of a user base because there's nothing to use. And so therefore, the price is going to be kind of finding its feet a little bit. Now, when it does enter this slump stage, more than likely, the companies that do well will exit the slump. And therefore, the only thing that I am trying to figure out when I'm looking at any company or any, coin, whatever, is I'm looking at, okay, if these guys how likely is it, that this coin is going to be something that produces something that's really good. So if I think that, okay, this looks like even when it's out, it's not going to do well, why on earth would I risk why would I risk any money on it when it's already high risk anyway? I want to make a calculated guess, emphasis on guess, but it is calculated, how likely it is that the price is going to rise. And that will be a direct result of how much the users are using it and the applications of it. Unless it is a meme coin, I don't look into meme coins. I'm just not interested at all because that is just gambling in my book. Okay, so let's look at the website quickly. Essentially, they want to be the token that powers the interactive entertainment industry. So they want to be the main go-to token across most or all crypto games in general and the entertainment industry. And they want to merge those two industries together. It's a very, very large vision. They talk about a lot of interesting stuff. This is their white paper right here. A lot of it's very simplified, which is really, really good. But again, in terms of individual acquisition of digital assets such as avatars, etc., the Animoca metaverse. So Animoca Brands is a huge, huge gaming brand. They're behind things like the Sandbox and all of this type of stuff, and F1 Delta and all that sort of stuff. And acquisition of games, etc., Robot Cash, gaming with Atari Casino, payment services. They've got a lot of really, really good things that they do deliver. And the good thing is if they do get involved with some of these larger brands, across multiple games, you instantly get access to all of the audience of those larger brands. And that is a very, very powerful thing, because if you get access to bigger games, then you instantly get access to their audience, which is what can cause these big swings and these big pumps in the price. But again, it's all speculation until we can literally sit and say with absolute certainty, okay, loads of people are using this. It absolutely rocks, blah, 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 blah. Next thing, the Atari original console. So this is the original one from back in the day, but they are planning to release a new one. This is the new one. It kind of looks similar, but it is a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek. This is going to be, to my knowledge, I haven't actually looked into this, but one of the first physical games consoles that's going to facilitate blockchain games. And that's very, very important because it means that it's a platform for game designers, developers to build games specifically for that console. Why? Because that console, assuming it's successful, will have a existing user base of players who use that console and love that console. And so when you put a game onto that, that game is going to be exposed to that audience of players. That's really important because if you're a developer, it means that there is an incentive for you to go and use Atari. Now, this is made even more impactful to me because Atari is a very, very big brand. It has a high recognition rate already. Everybody knows it from the 1970s, 80s, at least in the gaming community. And they have a lot of money and they have a big development team as well. And so for me, whilst everything is risky here, I do think this has a very, very good chance of doing well. It's also building its own metaverse. But to be honest, at this point in the crypto space, everyone says they're building their own metaverse. So I really don't take that as much of anything. And the pictures on Twitter I've seen, in my opinion, are very average. They don't really jump off the page at me. I've seen, I think it's called Alpha Metaverse, something like that on Twitter. But if you just go to Atari Token on Twitter, you'll see exactly what I mean. Hopefully, that's just my personal opinion. And so what they intend to do is they intend to open a casino, some online games, a betting platform, all of that fun sort of stuff. And so these things are all really, really good and they sound great on paper. But, how risky do I think it is? I still think it's quite high risk because, again, nothing has been released yet. And whilst they are being, pretty good about everything, I don't know. I've just got a weird feeling about this, but nevertheless, I still think this has huge potential. And the current market cap at 127 million, I think this is getting this to like $1 billion is really not a big ask. In crypto gaming in general, I really don't think it's a massive ask to go and have those larger pushes up to those kind of 1 billion at least market caps. I mean, Axie Infinity, a very simple 2D blockchain game, is already at I think it's touching 9 billion, or maybe it's even 10 billion now. And that's just the start for that alone. And Atari is going to be spread across multiple games. And when there are multiple games, it means that the market cap can grow quicker because you're not just relying on one game, you're relying on lots of different ones. Ethereum is a great example of that. Think about how many blockchain games are built on the Ethereum network. This is built on the Ethereum network. And so when you invest in Ethereum, you're getting all of those games and all of those other things that come under the net of Ethereum. This is why these market caps will explode. And so for me, Atari is a very, very interesting pick, something that I'm going to be getting involved in, I believe, later today. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is how I'm going to manage that investment. Because it is speculation at this point, my main thing is going to be watching major news related to this. I'm going to follow these guys on Twitter and have all notifications turned on for every tweet they make. If I can see any major people who are also following this, I will also follow them to see what their opinions are. And I will basically manage my investment based on what, all the news that comes out. For example, because no one's actually using the Atari token just yet, or it's not in major kind of mass adopted use, if some news came out that the Atari Casino, one of their major projects, is delayed by 3 years and it's not going to be released for another 3 years, what do you think that's going to do to the price? It's going to cause the price to fall through the floor. And so, but obviously that's an extreme example, but that is why I'm paying more attention to news and I'll be making my decisions based off of that. So without further ado, let's move on. Next one is chain games. I really, 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 really like chain games. I think this still has a lot of potential. I've been looking at this for a couple of months and kind of just on the fence about it a little bit, just mainly at first because I wasn't really doing or paying it that much attention. Again, similar sort of setup. It was formed. We kind of entered this slump. We had that massive pump. Then we dumped all the way back down here. And now we're still at a pretty good price. In my opinion, this is a very nice price if prices do go up. We haven't got an exact market cap, which is a shame, but that's because of how low down it is on the rankings. And they just haven't provided that data. But we have got a rough idea of what the fully diluted market cap is. I'm not sure how accurate that will be, but let's just work off of that and imagine everything's in supply. I still can see this reaching a $1 billion market cap. Why? What does Chain Games even do? You might be thinking. Well, simply it is a all-in-one blockchain gaming solution. So if you've got a game like, let's just go down here. Also partnered with Atari. That is sexy. So if you've got a game like FIFA, Madden, NBA, just any other already well-established game, this is a third-party blockchain add-on that allows and facilitates esports and competition to be added to that game and automatically work with the blockchain network. So in layman's terms, if you are playing FIFA and you're entering a competition with someone online and you place a bet with that person, this is going to facilitate that. And you bet, okay, I bet you $100, whatever that is, or 100 of that particular in-game currency. I bet you 100 that I'm going to win this game. And if you do win that game, instead of you having to go through all of the tech problems, which there are a hell of a lot if you're just a game like FIFA or whatever, it will work off a third party and move through chain games to automatically use smart contracts to be like, okay, cool, you won the game. Here's the payment automatically. Now, that is a very, very big thing. And you can imagine the incredible power that's going to bring. FIFA, NBA, Madden, these games are all available already. And so when this becomes more and more used, because esports is an absolutely huge industry. So let's look this up. Size of the esports industry. Okay. So just under 8% of the global market. So 745 million. I'm not sure if that's 8% or if that is the, okay, no. So I think that's the whole total market cap. But nevertheless, that's a massive, massive market cap. And to be honest with you, if you can bring the audience of those games, FIFA, all of these things, and integrate it with cryptocurrency and do it all automatically, it has huge potential because you have all of the audiences of the games to show it to and enjoy it. And as that booms, I see the market cap easily going up to 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion. Okay, I'm actually pretty sure that the market cap for this should be a hell of a lot bigger. I'm not sure how accurate it is. There we go. Global Gaming Report, worth $98 billion in 2020. That is a absolutely huge number. And so it's not really a big ask if it does get public adoption, mass adoption, to go ahead and get those bigger market caps. And it's at a great price right now in relation to the all-time highs. These two picks for me, I see with definite 30x potential. Absolutely. So many of these crypto games have huge potential, but again, it's high risk. So I'm not going to be risking a large percentage of my portfolio unless I'm feeling particularly ballsy. But I probably won't be doing that because I would like to keep most of my money if possible. But yeah, guys, hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, drop a like. And yeah, if you've got any content ideas, let me know in the comment section below and I will sort that out for you. Lots and lots of love and hugs and kisses. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Take care. Adios.